And that kind of leads me into, so I was thinking today about, I was like, what are we going to talk about? I really try to make it as authentic. Want to be as authentic as possible. So I'm not belaboring and that kind of thing for this. I just want to have a conversation. And the three things came to one word came to my mind was trust, right? Trust. Trust is the word that came to mind. Hey guys, make sure you share this video. Let people know. Share this broadcast and with your followers and with your friends. Let them know that we're here and we're talking about trust. Trust. This is some golden nuggets to help you on your way. Trust. Three things. Trust in three forms. Trust God. Trust the process. And trust the outcome. So let's kind of talk about that a little bit. I don't apologize for who I am and what I believe. Proverbs 3:5 says, trust God. Well, there's different versions of the Bible and stuff like that. Some more preferred than others. And I'm not here to have a discussion about the background of who wrote it and all that kind of stuff. But this is a book. This is a book called the Bible. Okay. And this particular version of it is called The Message. And that says, trust God from the bottom of your heart. Don't try to figure out everything on your own. Trust. So I don't know about y'all. Okay. But I like to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? I may not know everything. It's getting a little dark in here. Let me see. Does that help a little bit? I may not know everything. That may not help. Tell me if that makes it a little better. I know that Facebook is a little dark, and it's getting a little dark on this side of town here. So if the light helps, give me a 1. If the light is not helping, give me a 2, and I'll adjust accordingly. Okay. Thanks for the yellow hearts. Ooh, I like yellow hearts. So I don't know about you, but I like to figure stuff out. Okay. I want to know how we going to do this, how we going to get there, how we going to rock, how we going to roll. And when I'm not clear and I don't know and I'm just lost, I'm distraught. And then I'm constantly having to be reminded to trust. To trust what? Trust what? I'm trusting this system, right? That job, that bi-weekly paycheck. I'm trusting this vehicle with the 4 cylinders and the raggedy tires that need to be replaced to get me from point A to point B. God, I'm trusting this vehicle gonna start. What else are we trusting? That this man gonna be true to me. I'm trusting that he gonna keep his word. We trust a lot of stuff, right? Or try to. But the first trust in our lives, really, again, this is my golden nugget to you, my belief, is that we should trust God. And trust God from the very bottom of your heart. Like, with all earnest and all sincerity. And that doesn't mean you're perfect, right? It just means, it's all like, I'm just being sincere. I just trust you. I trust God. And not just from the bottom of your heart. Don't try to figure everything out. I don't know about you. I try to figure stuff out. I want to know. And when I can't, I get burdened down. I get all distressed. And I'm worrying and I'm worrying. I'm full of worry. I'm worrying. Wow, I can't even say, it's a weird word to say in that form. Full of worry, and I'm trying to figure things out, and it's burdensome. Now I feel burdened with worry and burdened with confusion because I'm trying to figure it out and I'm not sure how it's going to work out. But if you trust God with all your heart, with all sincerity, like a child trusts a parent. You ever see a parent in the pool? I know my cousin just got a nice, beautiful pool, and you tell your kid, you tell your little baby, come on, jump in the water. I got you. Your hands are extended, and you want that child to trust you. And a lot of times the children, they trust, because why? I'm looking at my daddy, I'm looking at my mommy, and or my uncle, or my friend, or, someone that I know and that I trust, and I'm going to jump. Now, this water, and I've never had that. I've never jumped in water before, and I'm not sure if I can swim, and I'm not sure if this life jacket is going to keep me, but I trust with all my heart, like a child trusts a parent. That's what God wants us to do. Trust him like that, like a child. and from the bottom of your heart, with all sincerity. And then don't try to figure stuff out. And when you don't try to figure things out it said don't try to figure things out on your own. On your own. Just you like, I'm going to take on the burden of the world to try to figure this thing out. When God is like, just trust me. Don't try to do it alone, because you're not alone. I'm with you. And I'll give you some direction. Basically, I'm gonna help you out. And when I started to think about that, something as simple as that, for some it may seem like passive and whatever, but really it takes a burden off. Not a burden. It does not remove your responsibility, right? It just takes the excessive, non-productive burden off of your back, knowing that you're not alone. If you could just trust God from the bottom of your heart, don't try to figure it out all on your own, it'll work out. It's just very simple, but it takes the... Last week we talked about purging, right? And removing excess stuff, not just physical stuff, but removing baggage, clutter in your mind, unforgiveness in your heart, pettiness, you know what I'm saying? Remove distrust, remove the worry, let that stuff go. It ain't benefiting nothing. It ain't changing the situation, except maybe changing your body, because that stuff wears on your physical body as well. So trust God. That was the word, trust God. And then when you trust God, know and understand this, to help you navigate this thing called life, right? To navigate this thing called life. Again, going back to what we've been talking about, what you want for your life, where you trying to go, what's your purpose? How are you falling in line with that purpose for your life? You're going to have to trust God. And then, but when you do that, understand this to help you navigate life. So when you do that, trust this. Understand this, that in trusting God, it ain't no shortcuts. Or not even just God, just life in general. We like to take shortcuts. I do. Hey, Marcus, I like to take shortcuts. I don't like to really do a whole lot of cooking in the kitchen. Like when I was growing up, my grandmother would be in the kitchen for hours. I mean, the meal would be awesome, because it was cooked with love. I was like, when this food gonna be ready? Lord have mercy. Then I would help out, thinking that maybe help out the process. It was still long. How was the beans soaking for 2 days, then you're simmering for 2 days? I mean, it was just too much for me. I never really could understand, because I wanted a shortcut. And to this day, when I get in the kitchen, Thanksgiving and Christmas is probably the most cooking, like bona fide, get in there cooking 2 and 3 days in advance. I'll do it, but that's the spirit on a holiday. But generally speaking, when I get in the kitchen, I want a hearty meal, but I want to figure out how I can cut the corners and it'd be just as good. But the truth of the matter, in life, if you really want the quality and the life that you say you want, because again, I'm tying all these Sunday coachings together, then it's a process, and you have to trust the process. How many times have you or I have engaged in a situation, whatever that situation was? I wanted more money. I wanted to go further in my employment. And truth of the matter is, I probably needed more education or training. And I was like, that training gonna be like 4 weeks, or it's gonna be another year, and I didn't want to do it. So I wanted to circumvent the process. But this is what I wanted. I wanted a higher income, but this is the process to get there. Maybe more education, more training, right? More supervision. But I didn't want to do all that. I didn't want to go through the process. Then you may not get to where you want. So you got to trust God, trust the process. Sometimes we want to circumvent the process. We want to get over and shortcut. But the process, in order to get what you want for your life, and in order to have quality, and in order to have what God would have for you holistically, you got to trust the process. And what does that mean? That means that I believe, 1, I trust God from the bottom of my heart. 2, it's not on me to figure all of it out all by myself. This process has purpose. And 3, and that's the third thing. And so believing and understanding that your process has purpose. There's purpose in it. And that purpose is going to give you a positive outcome. It's going to give you the quality outcome that, quite honestly, you need. And then in some cases, perhaps you want as well. It should be that you want as well. So you have to trust God. Trust the process. And then lastly, the third trusting component is trusting the outcome. See, let me explain. Let me go a little further. So for me, I was like, okay, God, I trust you. You know, you got to go through these phases. Then I'm like, okay, oh my God, it's a process. I can't even escape this process. This is taking 10 years. I don't want to go, whatever your process is. I don't want to go through this, but I'm trusting. I'm trusting. Now I believe, okay, there's no shortcuts. And in order for me to have the outcome that I so desire and I believe that God wants for my life, I'm going to trust the process. But what does that mean? I'm trusting that there's purpose in this at the end of the day. And then I'm trusting the outcomes, meaning this. We should ultimately learn from our process. Life is a big classroom, right? It's a big, gigantic classroom. You should always be learning and gleaning from something. And I try to keep that in mind. Every situation, it's frustrating me. I don't feel like it. This is bothersome. And I may spend time initially complaining about it. But ultimately, there's something to be learned from this process. Right? Herein lies the rub. We don't always extract the lessons and apply those lessons. For some reason, sometimes we miss that part. And this is how I know personally, is because I find myself repeating processes. If you find yourself repeating processes, perhaps you did not learn the lesson. Oh my goodness gracious. So, you got to trust that the outcomes, right, or the lessons learned are beneficial for you moving forward, and that they have purpose. I wrote something here. What did I write down? What you will gain from the process. Like the process is, sweat, toil, tears, patience, long suffering. That's that process. That's some of the things that are being worked out in the process. But you got to understand, and things being lost, like, we talked about purging, prioritizing, preparing, some of the things getting lost in the process. You have to remember and believe and trust that the things that you're going to gain as a result of completing the process far supersedes what you thought you lost in the process. Right? And that those outcomes, those deliverables, those things rendered as a result, lessons, the wisdom, the transformation. I don't know about y'all. I'm a different person than I was maybe 5 years ago, because I'd like to believe that through various processes, I learned something and I was transformed, or I was changed, and that those outcomes, right, have been beneficial to me. And also, now there, we can stay in our box personally, my process, my world, my life, but then for real, we can also extend the lesson beyond ourselves, because whether we believe it or not, everything ain't always about us. Everything ain't always about you. So those lessons, those outcomes from the process not only would benefit me, grow me, transform me, but really can be beneficial to someone else. Your children, right? Your spouse, your community, your family. Because as you are changed, as you are transformed, as you have gleaned something from the process, because you endured the process, as you trusted God, all of this builds on top of each other, then now you have something of value to give to someone else to help them in their process. So it's a circle of life. Like Simba, it's a circle of life. Right? It all comes around full circle, and it's continual, repetitious, but in a vertical way. So as you are trusting, believing God from the bottom of your heart, like a child, like a child trusts his parent and will jump in the water, even though they don't know if that life jacket is going to make them float. They've never been full body in water like that before, except for in a bath where they were sitting at the bottom of the thing. You know, they don't know, but they trust that parent that's saying, come on, baby, jump into my arms. Trust God from the bottom of your heart and don't try to figure everything out on your own. When you embrace that place, you know, hey, throw my hands up. God, I trust you. I trust God from the bottom of my heart. I don't know how to figure it out by myself. Then understand from that, there's a process to get you from point A to point B, to get you to the place where you say you want to be, or to the places, because you don't stop, you don't be stagnant, to the places you say you want to be. You want to be, hey, oh Lord, thank you for the compliment. Where you say you want to be, right? For your life. I know I have a family member who constantly speaks, Scott, you constantly speak about where you see you and your family. This is where we're trying to be. We start here, but we're constantly moving. So there's constant vision for where he wants to be with his family. So you have to trust, and there's a process to get there. You don't just wake up and say, I want to be here, and you're there. There's a process. You got to trust that process. Trust that this process has purpose, and it is indeed going to get you to where you need to be. And that there are no shortcuts if you really want the quality of life. And then thirdly, trust the outcomes. Trust what you have gleaned from this process is far greater than what you think you may have lost in this process. And those outcomes, those deliverables from that process will benefit you, will transform you, and taking it a step further, not only will benefit you, will benefit those around you. You will now have something of quality to give and to pour into someone else, right? And then we go right back around. Trust in God again, trust the process, and trust the outcomes, that they are beneficial to our transformation. Sunday coaching. That's my 2 cents, and I'm sticking to it. Sometimes the best mode of transportation from point A to point B is a leap of faith. Trust God. Trust the process. Trust the outcomes.